The moment the phone rang, Logan Carter had no idea that his entire life was about to change. Standing beside an old rusted pickup truck outside the shipping warehouse, he answered with tired hands still stained with engine grease. Within minutes, his face turned pale. The call wasn't about work, it was about his 8-year-old son, Mason, who had collapsed at school after suffering a severe allergic reaction. Logan didn't hesitate. He dropped his tools and ran toward his truck, desperate to reach the hospital. But before he could leave the parking lot, his furious boss stepped into his path, shouting loud enough for everyone to hear. In front of dozens of stunned workers, Logan was fired on the spot for abandoning his responsibilities. What nobody knew was that this cruel decision would trigger a chain of events that would destroy everything the boss had built. Before we continue, if you believe kindness, compassion, and second chances still matter in this world, please take a moment to like this video, leave a comment, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to Heartline Stories. Your support helps us keep bringing inspiring true-to-life stories that remind us humanity still exists. Logan had never imagined his life would become so difficult. 3 years earlier, his wife, Rachel, had lost her battle with cancer, leaving him to raise Mason alone. Every morning before sunrise, Logan prepared breakfast, packed lunches, helped with homework, and then rushed to the warehouse where he worked long shifts loading freight trucks. Every dollar mattered. Rent, groceries, medical bills, and school expenses left almost nothing at the end of each month. Yet despite the exhaustion, he never complained. Mason was the reason he kept going. The little boy had inherited his mother's bright smile and endless curiosity, giving Logan strength on even the darkest days. The warehouse was owned by Victor Harlan, a businessman known more for intimidation than leadership. Employees feared him because he valued profits over people. Sick days were questioned. Family emergencies were treated as excuses. Workers whispered stories about colleagues fired for arriving just minutes late or asking for time off to attend funerals. Logan had survived only because he worked harder than almost everyone else. He volunteered for overtime, never argued, and stayed focused on providing a better future for his son. When the school nurse called that afternoon, Logan's entire world narrowed to one terrifying thought: Mason needed him. Nothing else mattered. He barely heard Victor's angry voice as he rushed toward his truck. The warehouse owner accused him of disrespect, threatened legal action over unfinished deliveries, and demanded that he return to work immediately. Logan tried to explain, but Victor refused to listen. With one cold sentence, he ended Logan's employment, ordering security to escort him off the property. Logan drove to the hospital fighting tears and fear at the same time. Thankfully, doctors managed to stabilize Mason after administering emergency treatment. The boy smiled weakly when he saw his father, apologizing for causing trouble even though none of it was his fault. Sitting beside the hospital bed, Logan promised everything would be okay, even though he had no idea how he would pay the bills without a job. News of what had happened spread faster than anyone expected. One of Logan's co-workers had secretly recorded Victor firing him while he desperately explained his son's medical emergency. The video captured every painful moment, the fear in Logan's voice, the indifference on Victor's face, and the shocked silence of employees watching the confrontation. That co-worker believed people deserved to know the truth. The clip reached social media overnight. By the following morning, thousands of people had watched it. Parents shared it. Nurses shared it. Teachers shared it. Veterans, factory workers, and truck drivers all recognized something painfully familiar: a hardworking father punished for choosing his child over his paycheck. Local news stations began requesting interviews. Community groups organized support for Logan and Mason. Donations started arriving from complete strangers, many including handwritten notes saying that no loving parent should ever face such cruelty. But the most important phone call came from someone Victor never expected. The warehouse's largest corporate client had seen the viral video. For years, the company had promoted family values and ethical business practices. Executives immediately launched an investigation into Victor's treatment of employees. They discovered years of complaints, unfair dismissals, unpaid overtime claims, and repeated violations that had gone ignored. Within days, the corporation canceled its multi-million-dollar shipping contract. The financial impact was devastating. Without that contract, investors quickly pulled out. Other clients followed, unwilling to be associated with a company facing national outrage. Government inspectors arrived after former employees came forward with additional evidence of workplace violations. Fines mounted. Lawsuits appeared. Within months, the once busy warehouse stood nearly empty. Victor had spent years believing fear created loyalty. Instead, he discovered that one act of heartlessness could erase decades of success. Meanwhile, Owen's story inspired something extraordinary. A logistics company located nearby reached out after seeing the news. Its owner believed businesses should support families, not punish them. Owen was offered a management position with higher pay, full health insurance, flexible scheduling, and paid family leave. For the first time in years, he could breathe without wondering whether a single unexpected expense would destroy everything. Mason recovered completely and slowly returned to school. Life wasn't suddenly perfect, but hope had returned. On weekends, father and son began restoring Owen's old pickup truck together. They laughed while sanding rust from the faded body, painted over worn metal, and dreamed about taking a road trip one day. Those quiet afternoons became reminders that happiness wasn't measured by expensive things but by the people who refused to give up on each other. As seasons changed, Owen often reflected on the day he lost his job. At first, it had felt like the worst moment of his life. Looking back, he realized it had become the turning point that revealed who truly stood beside him. The community's compassion had restored more than his finances, it had restored his faith in people. Sometimes the greatest victories begin with heartbreaking losses. Sometimes standing up for your family costs everything you have in the moment, only to open doors you never imagined existed. Owen never regretted answering that phone call because no job could ever be more valuable than the child waiting for his father. If this story touched your heart, please don't scroll away without showing your support. Like this video, leave a meaningful comment, share it with your friends and family, and subscribe to Heartline Stories. Your engagement helps these powerful stories reach people who may need hope today. Blue Heart special request, comment below with the words, "Family comes first," if you believe no parent should ever have to choose between their job and their child. Owen's journey became proof that kindness can travel farther than cruelty, that integrity is stronger than intimidation, and that even when life seems determined to knock someone down, compassion has the power to lift them higher than they ever thought possible. In the end, the father who lost his job gained something far greater, a future built on respect, love, and the unbreakable bond between a parent and a child.